Hello everyone and welcome to our Advanced Grammar series. I'm Amal Adel, a student at the Department of English Language and Literature at the University of Bahrain. In this video, I'm going to talk about determiners. To begin with, what are determiners? Basically, determiners are words that fall under three categories: articles such as a, an, or the; demonstratives as in this, that, these, those; and the last type, possessives, for example, my, your, her, his, its, our. These words can be used with a noun to help identify who or what the noun refers to. In this lesson, the main focus will be on two types of determiners, demonstratives and possessives. So let's start with demonstratives. We can use the demonstrative determiners this and that before singular nouns in sentences. Let's look at the following examples. If they survived this war, the scent of that kingdom she had loved with her heart of wildfire. Now, if we look closely at the first sentence, we can see here the usage of the demonstrative this followed by a singular noun, war. As for plural nouns, we use the demonstrative determiners these and those before them. For example, she'd seen these males before. The law in those days wasn't just hard, it was merciless. Again, if we look closely at the first sentence, we can see the usage of the demonstrative these followed by a plural noun, males. Now, the same demonstrative words, this, that, these, and those, that we saw in the previous examples, can be used as pronouns in sentences. For instance, here are the books I promised. These are first edition. We see here in the sentence the word in bold is these, which is the demonstrative determiner. But here it's functioning as a pronoun, taking the place of the subject instead of repeating the subject again, which is the books. We use the demonstratives this and these when we are talking about things A, close to the speaker, B, closely connected to here and now, meaning the present. As for the demonstratives, that and those, we use them for things that we are treating as further away from here and now. We make this distinction in the usage of the demonstrative determiners when we talk about times and events, places, and people. So let's have a look at the examples regarding times and events. He's become our spy of sort. He joins us in these meetings. That night, Celine had curled in the corner of the basement. All of my life has been preparation for this day, my first day of college. Now, if we look closely at the second sentence, that night, Celine had curled in the corner of the basement. We see here the demonstrative determiner that, followed by a singular noun referring to time, which is night. Now, the whole phrase, that night, suggests that the speaker is treating the night as further away from here and now, because of the usage of the demonstrative that. Now let's see the sentences about places. They could also be from the wild men of these mountains. That casket where they put her, only the sound of water entered this place. Now if we look at the first sentence, we see in bold here the demonstrative determiner these, followed by the plural noun mountains, which is obviously a place. Now the whole phrase, these mountains, suggests that the place, the mountains, is close by to the speaker. And here we have the sentences about people. Those people deserved the warning, the protection. Just as he didn't know why these soldiers ventured so far into the mountains. And the last sentence, she wondered if that goddess of light and flame even cared. If we looked at the first sentence, we have the demonstrative determiner those in bold, followed by a plural noun, which is people. The whole phrase, those people, suggests that the people the speaker is talking about are not close by. Another usage for the demonstratives is to make contrast between what has already happened using the determiners that and those, and what is going to happen by using the demonstrative determiners this and these. Let's look at the following examples below. My worst fears were confirmed in that moment. Here, using the demonstrative that suggests that the fear was confirmed in a moment in the past. It has already happened. Now the second sentence says, during this class, the discussion will revolve around Austen's use of foreshadowing. Using this suggests that the discussion is going to happen in the future. It has not already happened. We can also use the demonstrative determiners that and those to add an element of distance when we express negative feelings about something or someone. For instance, he was never a fan of that music genre. Now here the usage of that in the sentence suggests that the speaker is expressing his negative feelings toward a certain genre of music. Alright, so now let's start with the second type of determiners for our lesson, which is possessives. There are quite a few possessive determiners, such as my, his, your, her, its, our, and their. We use possessive determiners before nouns. For example, my room, unlike possessive pronouns such as mine, which are used instead of nouns and noun phrases. Let's look at the following sentences below. For my parents, who taught me to believe that girls can save the world. Your crown, by blood and birthright. In the first sentence, we have the possessive determiner my preceding the noun parents, and in the second sentence, we have the noun crown coming after the possessive determiner your. You need to keep in mind that the possessive determiner its is different from its, which is the shortened form for it is or it has. Now we'll talk about the usage of the possessive determiners, which is mainly to express a personal connection to A. Things we own. For example, there lived a young princess who loved her kingdom. He snatched his favorite book from her trembling hands. Here in the second sentence, we have the possessive determiner his, followed by the noun book, which is the things the speaker owns. B. A part of a thing or a person. For example, I can hear their stomachs grumbling. He ran his hand through his messy hair. In the first sentence, we have the possessive determiner there, followed by the noun stomachs, which is a part of a person's body. C. To express a personal connection to, a feeling or a thought. For instance, to be remembered for her utter failure. And yet, your fear of loss makes you choose one woman over the fate of the world. In the last sentence here, we have the possessive your, followed by the noun fear, which is a feeling. D. A family member or a friend. Let's look at the sentences. You are a disgrace to our family. Please help me save my friends. In the first sentence, we have the possessive determiner our coming before the noun family. And finally, E. To express a personal connection to an event. For instance, her birthday was still months away. We have here her, the possessive determiner, coming before the noun birthday, which is an event. We usually use the rather than a possessive in a prepositional phrase when we are talking about a part of a body of something or someone that has already been identified before. The part is treated as a place and not as a possession. For example, yes, she says, poking me in the side. In the side here is a prepositional phrase. We used the because the person has already been identified. Please note that we say he stroked my hair using a possessive determiner, but we don't say he stroked the hair. We have reached the end of the lesson. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you have learned something. This video was prepared and presented by me, and I'd like to give special thanks to Dr. Lamia Al-Kohiji for giving me her valuable insight and guidelines and for supervising this project.